After 1999, Rwanda scaled up its health, social, and economic reforms. The goal was to make Rwanda a middle-income country by 2020, increasing incomes to $900 and life expectancies to 55 years, and to help the most vulnerable groups rise from extreme poverty. Prior to the genocide, the GDP per capita of the country was at $352, and dropping to $132 the year of the genocide, and only rising to $225 by 2000. Rwanda also had one of the highest child mortality rates in all of sub-Saharan Africa, with a large divide between rural and urban areas. With improvements in health and education, that division has been closed, as the mortality rates of both have dropped and became relatively even. As the people became more educated and had greater access to health services, the rate of poverty dropped from 45% in 2000 to 24% in 2010. The new reforms rose the amount of health professionals from 148 doctors and 1,143 nurses in 1999 to 641 doctors and 8,591 nurses by 2012. Along with the reforms in infrastructure, Rwanda was able to reduce the child mortality rate dramatically post-1990s. Leading these reforms has been President Paul Kagame, who has been in charge officially since 2000. He has been involved with the government since his party took control after the genocide, and was the vice president until 2000, but even then he had full control of the army. And though he's done an incredible job in helping to rebuild life in Rwanda since the genocide, Kagame has also sponsored violence around the region, killed political dissidents, and consolidated his authoritarian power. Kagame and his RPF military leaders have supported foreign militias with money and unofficial troops, like the rebel group M23 in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Yet, despite his political abuse, his RPF party still remains the backbone of the country, relying heavily on their military power as a source of strength, and using violence to keep rivals inside or in the surrounding countries, like the Democratic Republic of Congo, in control. The use of power and funding of rebel groups has been a significant cause of the conflict in the Congo. Still, this power is being used to build Rwanda, and is claimed to be only a defense against radical groups that look to overthrow the government. Despite Kagame's questionable actions in the shadows, the government has had stable growth over the past decade, with its GDP growing around 8% since 2008. Still, many foreign governments believe Kagame has been using these economic and social advancements in order to solidify his government's control. This is because many of the powerful investment companies that have earned contracts belong to those who have worked for or are currently working for the government of Rwanda in high positions. Whether their reasons for selling these to their friends have been to form a government monopoly or to simply make sure the government doesn't collapse from outside forces, the government policies have been extremely effective at building infrastructure, extending social services, and boosting economic output. There are more hospitals, schools, roads, and private businesses in the country than there has ever been. The building of Rwanda has no doubt been a struggle, but the firm leadership of Kagame has helped to raise the standard of living and lower the rates of mortality in the country. There is no telling how far his increasingly authoritarian government will grow, or the effects it will have later down the road, but in the 20 years after the genocide, Rwanda has been a successful and stable example of enterprise-led growth in Africa under his presidency. Even though his policies and actions have had questionable reasons, there is no doubt that the rebuilding of Rwanda would not have been as successful without his being president. Rwanda in 2014, according to the World Bank, is ranked the best sub-Saharan African country and the 32nd best country in the world for business investment. The effect of the genocide in Rwanda has not only affected the growth of the country, but has forever changed the role of foreign powers, the lives of those in the surrounding region, and the role Rwanda plays on the global scale. This event has catalyzed the modern movement in favor of humanitarian military intervention in order to prevent genocide in the future.